So this is my 2024 recap video, and I want to start off by just looking at what all happened in 2024. In March, I cut my hair after 10 years of growing locks. People say I look about 10 years younger, so it's like I got that time back. The Lord had called me to cut my hair as it was the last remaining part of my old life, the partying and smoking days, in order for me to enter a new phase that He has set for me. Brittany got accepted into a master's program at the local university. At the same time, she was embedded into a teaching program so she can start both things at the same time. And even though it's not my personal achievement, I'm very proud of her, and so it's something that is good for both of us because she's stepping closer into the path that God has laid out for her to be a teacher, and there's so much to go beyond that. But this is one of the sort of beginning stages on that path for her. So I closed my jewelry business, closed the actual LLC, because I wasn't making any money, and it quickly became too expensive to have that running legitimate without having any income to supplement all the expenses. So without the burden of struggling with the jewelry business, over the summer I had more time to think, more mind space to really think more on what I really wanted to do with my creative passions. So I set out to start rebuilding my portfolio, getting new contacts, being in a new state, and I worked on trying to find my niche within commercial videography. Now this element is probably going to be one of the bigger focuses in this video because this is what took up a majority of my mind space throughout the year. Towards the end of the year, I shot my first wedding in 5 years. I documented from the beginning my day-to-day film biz adventure, and we finally got Ray into daycare. Now, what did I achieve? Some of the items in the previous list also count within this list, but within this list we're going to get a little more specific. So getting Ray into daycare was actually a pretty big achievement in and of itself. This was very crucial for us because although we had childcare in the past, we didn't really have anything that was reliable or consistent enough. We've learned essentially it's nice to have friends and family to help to step in, get Ray whenever, but unfortunately we all have lives. Any babysitter that we hit up, they all have lives too, which is fine. It's just with having to navigate around their lives, it becomes difficult from time to time to ensure we have childcare throughout the entire week. And there have been times where one of us have had to call out of work, and that's something that wasn't feasible for me, at least not towards the end of the year. As a separate tangent, I used up like all my sick time that I had left shooting events over the weekend. Now, even though it wasn't the best use of my time, I don't necessarily regret it because I think it still helped to build my portfolio, but it did cause a strain in how we handled childcare at that time of the year. In 2024, Brittany and I became pastors. Now, if you didn't already know, I probably didn't share it before, but since moving here in Kentucky in 2022, we have really flourished within our ministry. And in the previous year, I think it was in 2022, we both became elders within our ministry. And so since that point, we've just been preparing to pretty much take on more responsibility. We've had more opportunities to share the word, to give lessons and teach, as well as just there's been a greater urgency for us together to grow as children of God. And speaking of the ministry, I also set up a success group meeting for us to do pretty much like once a month. So this was something I wanted to create a space for the creatives and the aspiring business owners all the entrepreneurs within the ministry, for us to come together and, for one, share what we're working on, for two, kind of help each other out from our different experiences, and three, just provide overall support and accountability. I don't believe anybody can succeed on their own, and what I want to do is to kind of build up each of us in these creative passions and goals that we have. Within this year, I'm going to do a little more for the group to make each meeting a little more effective with different prompts and check-ins, and just kind of create a little more consistency now that we're in a new season. I bought my first video course related to turning my passion into a business. A course under the Art of Documentary, platform. What I got specifically was the Create and Earn course. This was a very exciting part of my journey, but I think what got me held up is still trying to figure out where I want to land with my business. And I'll touch more on that subject later. I'm sure that there are other things that I have achieved and I'm probably forgetting. I did not keep the best track of all that I have accomplished in the year. Now, what did I not achieve? Although I got as far as building my portfolio and bring it to a new standard, I got prospects that I've spoken to and all of that, I didn't really get my business off the ground just yet. I tried working off the momentum of one free project here and there by trying to get similar paid work, but it never really came to be. One of the issues I had was doing projects that didn't get me in front of other people to network with. There's that word, network. I'll address that later on. I guess the jewelry business also counts on this list, hence the need to close the LLC. So this isn't crucial, but I've been working on my office pretty much since we moved here 2 years ago, and I haven't really got it to anything that I'm satisfied with. How it is now is decent, but the biggest issue I've had since we moved is the office is serving as a storage space. So if you ever seen any of my other videos, whether it was on this channel or anything else I ever shot in the past 2 years, I've had to be very deliberate in what I allow to be seen, because there's just a lot of cluttered space. There's a lot of things just in the background at all times, no matter where you look. And it's hard to really get this office space into a really aesthetically and visually pleasing environment for myself. It's hard to be as productive, as efficient in my time as I would like to be, because I get so distracted in all the stuff that I have here. So the thing is, I never really got to accomplish creating the office space that I truly desire. I'm hoping to change that in the next house that we move into. More on that later. On this last note, last year in 2023, my word of the year then was consistency. I made certain strides mainly on systems that helped me to remain consistent, but overall, I wouldn't consider myself as having succeeded in creating consistent habits. Now, to give myself a little bit or a lot of leniency, my day-to-day schedule has drastically changed from the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year. In that time frame, I went from struggling with the jewelry business to aspiring within my film career. I went from dropping Ray off at her babysitter about 15 minutes away, but then only having to leave about 20 minutes before I had to get ready for work, to then dropping her off at the daycare that's only 3 minutes down the road, but I have to leave like 2 hours before I start work. So suffice it to say, my schedule has changed so much so and so often that I've just been kind of coasting. I've been just trying to just hang in there and navigate as my schedule changed, trying to fill in the time that I had with the things that I wanted to get accomplished, and even that changed over time. Real quick, let me know how you feel about this lighting setup. I have this daylight balance here on this softbox, but also have a fill light that's in the complete opposite color temperature back here. I'm really just experimenting with the lighting in here because there's no way to light this space that I like. And so for me, anything that I do is just an experiment until it's completely solidified. So, drop in the comment, let me know what you think. I'm going to briefly touch on what I'm leaving behind in 2024 so I can make more room to focus on what I'm bringing to and focusing on in 2025. I'm leaving behind the jewelry business. However, I am taking some of the principles and the things that I've learned from running a legitimate business with me when it comes to things like filing taxes, remaining compliant, paying fees just for existing, getting letters in the mail, or getting promos in the mail from like Amex and JP Morgan, all that kind of stuff. That's not coming with me, but the other stuff is coming with me. I would love to say I'm leaving behind fear of the unknown. I want to be confident enough to say I'm not taking worry, self-doubt, or any other self-defeating feeling or thought with me. But unfortunately, I am human. So it's not about leaving these feelings behind as if I can simply wish them away and never have to deal with it. The new year doesn't have that kind of power, but I don't want to rely on my strength to get what I need achieved. With that being said, this is what I'm focusing on in 2025. So in this year, one of the things I'm going to do is focus a lot more on what God Almighty needs for me to do. Light just cut out. Oh, this is still recording. That's great. All right, whatchamacallit. I guess I'm going to have to reconfigure this. Okay. The kicker light that I had died on me. So I got no backlight in this scene, so I'm going to rebalance. Bring some warmth. There we go, some warmth back into the video, back into the mix. Alright, I think that's fine. I gotta start over with this one. In 2025, I'm going to be doing more to focus on what the Lord has for me, the path that He is placing me on, and aiming to allow Him to order my steps. I'm going to have to be in constant prayer for the path that I'm taking. One of the things that I pray about is for, I desire for the right door to be opened, but also desire for the wrong doors to be closed. And what I realized recently is how painful it is to experience that in real time. I was telling Brittany this yesterday. We can pray for the wrong doors to be closed so that we know that we're not going down the wrong path. We're not opening the door that's not for us, that's going to be a dead end. But when you think about it in real time, it doesn't feel good. It's actually pretty painful. Even seeing how that door is closed, it really sucks. And even within my film business, seeing those different doors close before my eyes, especially when I'm trying to actually build it towards something, man, it's heavy. When people ghost me, they just disappear out of thin air. When we're so close to signing a contract to lock down a specific video project and then it just falls apart immediately. It seems that every chance that I take to kind of build the business up in a particular avenue fails. And it does not feel good. However, trusting that the Lord is going to open the right door for me, I am still moving forward and still exploring different pathways and different opportunities so that through that journey, I know exactly where I need to be. And I'm probably going to touch on that more in a different video because I mentioned this earlier in the video, but there are a lot of things that I've been pondering on in relation to commercial filmmaking and narrative filmmaking and sort of where I meet in the middle. So to kind of sum that up, I have to fully and wholeheartedly trust that the Lord has the best intentions for me and trust that His will is being done in my life in real time so that my gifts and skills are being specifically used to fulfill what he has for me to do. My new word of the year for 2025 is networking. All right, so I realized that no matter what I do, no matter what avenue I take within my film business, whether it's on the aspect of commercial filmmaking all the way to narrative filmmaking, regardless, I need to know people. I need people to know who I am. I need people to know what I do. I need to be of service to other people, to use my skills and talents to help other people out whenever possible. So this is why networking is kind of the word of the year for me, because I've just been lacking it this entire time. I was lacking it to a degree when I first started the film business back in 2018, and I don't want to repeat the same mistakes. So 2025, this is the year for me to get to know people. So instead of trying to just focus on making more videos, I'm going to focus more on finding different ways and avenues to meet new people, whether it be just through Instagram for like local businesses and other videographers, photographers for the particular industries that I'm wanting to break into. To even, I would like to do networking events. I used to do that back in the day when I was in Birmingham, but my schedule right now, my work schedule doesn't really allow for that. Almost like every single event to network, to meet somebody, takes place on a day and time that I'm at work. And I may be able to find something that'll help, but I'm just have to navigate that as I go throughout the year. It's also going to be difficult trying to take time off to attend majority of those events that do occur when I work. I'm trying to not just use up all my sick time or all my vacation time. With everything else we have planned throughout the year already, the year just started. We're making plans all the way through December. I want to make sure I have time set aside for that. And also don't want to use up sick time for those networking events, especially because I have less sick time and I have less vacation time because now I work part-time. So there's just a lot less that I have to work with this year just to make time for that. So hopefully on the Tuesdays that I now have off, I can navigate around that part of my routine, that part of my schedule. Before I finish the script for this video, Lord had finally pressed that it was time for us to move. So in the first quarter of this new year, that'll start to take primary focus. For the film business, I might have to hang back for a while, unfortunately, but this gives me another opportunity. So I do want to announce, if I didn't already hint at it in a different video, or if you haven't seen one of the last videos of 2024 that appeared on this channel, I'm aiming to create one micro short film every month for the year 2025. That is 12 videos, roughly 1 to 3 minutes each. I was actually inspired to do this by another YouTuber that I stumbled across. I'm gonna leave his username down below. While I'm reeling back from trying to do commercial work, because I'm still trying to navigate where I fit and all of that, it'll be a whole separate video. I have a lot to unpack with where I've been mentally with the video, with the video business. But I learned from the art documentary on the Create and Earn video course that I purchased to make some time within the business to focus on that true passion. For me, just to kind of touch on it very, very briefly, I want to use my filmmaking skills to make money, just to supplement my day job. But my passion, my deepest passion, is actually like narrative filmmaking. That's where I started back in like 2010. That was 2010, 2009. That's over about 16 years ago. About 15 years ago now. It was narrative filmmaking, and I made all kinds of shorts and stuff since, but I want to aspire to be a movie director, a big time movie director. It's a wild idea, have no idea how I'm gonna get there. I want to incrementally work on that in the meantime. I keep looking at the monitor and I don't know if I'm properly lit. Just rotate this whole thing over a little bit. I keep getting like in front of the light instead of behind it. So there's these shadows that I'm not digging. Like makes my eyes look less lively. So I've already shot 2 videos. One will be popping up around the same time as this video, and at the time of recording, which is like right before the winter storm that by the time of viewing you would have already seen, experienced, been a part of, what have you. I'm going to be shooting a short film within the theme of snow and ice and all that. So I got a good head start. That's going to be a personal goal of mine, to expound upon my creative passion and use it as a means of keeping me busy, keeping me on that train of building up that skill set of narrative filmmaking and storytelling. I'm still vlogging my creative journey, but the contents of that vlog will begin to evolve over time as I continue to explore my creativity, as I continue to explore how the film business is really going to look like and all the things around that and with the move itself. So to stay up to date, please consider subscribing and turn on the bell notifications, and I will most happily catch you in the next video. Deuces.